Hey beauty babes, welcome to my channel. I'm Maria, aka Agape Love Girl. Thank you so much for joining me today. So today I'm going to be doing a little chit chat, get ready with me, a little bit of a life update, if you will. It feels weird calling it that because it doesn't seem like I don't have anything crazy to update, but I just figured that today I would do a little update video because I haven't posted in a week and I just didn't want to kind of upload regular content without kind of explaining why. I'm gonna do my eyes for a different video, but we're gonna do face and chat, so in case you're curious where I've been, this is what we're gonna do. Anyways, I'm just gonna be using some products from my makeup basket. I'll try to say what they are as I go along, but I'll mostly probably just talk just so I can kind of make this a quicker video, as I always try to say, but I should never say that because then they're always long. But I'm really going to try to keep this a shorter video today because I do actually want to get this, come on. Okay. I do actually want to get this video uploaded today, like this day that I am filming, this day that you're watching is the day that I filmed this. That's what I'm hoping. Because I haven't had a video go up in a week and I wanted this to be the first one. So I'm trying to film earlier than normal. It's 9 o'clock, just to kind of update you guys what's going on. Then we can move on to some regularly scheduled content. So, some of you guys may have seen on my community tab, because I did mention it there, but in case you did not see, I'll just let you know, I didn't upload all last week because I was dealing with some power outages. Some of you guys may have heard about it on the news. I'm not sure. Someone had said from like another country, another state, that they had heard about the power outages in California. So I don't know if it's like national news or whatever, I don't know. But anyways, yeah, most of Northern California was dealing with some power outages from PG&E. They're pretty much just preventative, I'm going by phone, power outages because we were having, or going to be having, and we did have this like big wind storm, and because last summer the fires here were so bad, and one of them was started because of a PG&E line. Usually during, you know, windstorms or anything like that where there could be damage to the lines and things like that where trees and branches and things like that might fall on a line, and then it could cause a spark and start a fire. And then here it's so stinking dry, then the wind blowing the fire and everything like that. So it was kind of more preventative measures, and so I totally get that, but it was a little bit frustrating at the same time too. So we basically were without power for 3 days. So in where I live, we are on a well, so we also did not even have running water. So that was, yeah, not fun. It was really weird just because so much of everything was down. It wasn't like it just affected like, you know, regular people's homes, like businesses, like everything was down. You couldn't get gas, stores weren't open, like everything, even hospitals, which is kind of crazy that they would even do it with like to hospitals and businesses and stuff like that. Like I said, I totally get preventative measures, but it was crazy for like everywhere to literally be without power and things like that. So anyways, what I was saying was I couldn't really get on social media very much. I could in the very early mornings, and I wake up, you guys know, like pretty early, like around 5:30 or so. So around that time I was able to kind of get online a little bit. You could kind of still use your data from your phone. But once other people started waking up and stuff like that, then like I couldn't, like nothing would load for me. So early in the morning, while it seemed like everybody else was asleep, I could kind of get online, and that's when I managed to post on my community tab about the power outage and things like that. But if I try to get on Instagram or anything like that, I really could, nothing would load, nothing would work. So it's pretty much like in the dark ages. Anyways, that's why I've been gone. And then before that, I'm just gonna kind of go over this with this sponge. Anyways, then before that I was in Chicago, like I mentioned in my last kind of like chit chat, get ready with me. I mentioned that I was gonna be going to Chicago for the Ultimate Women's Expo with NBA Cosmetics. So that's what I did last weekend, and I left on, I think I got there on a Friday. Yeah, I got there Friday. The expo was Saturday and Sunday, and then I left home for Monday. And it was a long like day of traveling Monday because my flight was like a later flight. I think my flight left at like 11 Chicago time, And then I had like a 3-hour layover in, where was it? It's like Minnesota, maybe, I think. And then by the time I got home, it's like a 2-hour drive from our airport to where I live. So I didn't get home until probably about like 10 or 10:30 at night. So it was a pretty long day of traveling. So basically then that's my Monday. And normally, I don't know if you guys know, I never really say that I have an upload schedule, but I do have an upload schedule. I keep patting this in when I need to move on. This is the problem when I get to talking, I get distracted. I do typically upload Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays or Sundays. Anyways, so since I got home so late on Monday, and Monday's usually when I would like edit a video to go up on Tuesday, I didn't have time to edit anything, you know, and get a video ready. And I was supposed to have a collab video go up last week, but because I got home so late on Monday and I couldn't edit it, we were gonna upload it on Thursday, so give me a little bit more time. That was quite a bit more concealer than I needed. Anyways, but then I got a text from pg&e that power might go out on Tuesday, so I was like, oh my goodness. So anyways, basically, yeah, came home from Chicago and couldn't really do much. So that's basically why I didn't post all last week. So anyways, but a little bit about Chicago, because a lot of people have asked like, how was the trip? How was it? Did you enjoy it? And all that stuff. And I did really enjoy it. It's always really exciting and fun for me that I sometimes get to travel with NBA Cosmetics and go places I, you know, have never been. I was excited to work a new show. Normally I always go to IMATS in New York with NBA Cosmetics. I will say that it was so different than what I'm used to for IMATS. Is, for those who don't know, is the International Makeup Trade Show, and working that is a totally different experience than the Women's Expo. This was the first year that NBA Cosmetics decided to do the Women's Expo. The owner, Sherry, had decided to try something new and see how it would work out. The difference is clearly like the makeup trade show is for makeup, whereas the Women's Expo is for pretty much anything for women. If it's anything that could have to do with women, it'll be at that trade show. So like, you know, there's a few people who had makeup or beauty items. I think we were really the only one who did had full-on makeup stuff. Anyways, but there was food and clothes and just a bunch of stuff. There was even like Geico was there. Like pretty much it's just like an open expo for pretty much anything basically, which made it kind of like I said, very interesting and very different, whereas IMATS is strictly makeup. And I will say that I feel like I definitely liked, I like the feel of IMATS better. I think because people already are familiar with makeup, there's an excitement for makeup, because that's what people are there for. Whereas the Women's Expo is a little bit of a hit or miss or whatever. And that's really what she was trying to test out and see, like, will this do well? And it could have gone, you know, either way, because it's a Women's Expo and it's not strictly makeup. Not everybody's there for just makeup, so it could flop, or it could do well because you know, it's because it's not strictly makeup and there's not as much competition, you know what I mean? So it was really kind of just gauging to see like how it would do. And so I definitely feel like it was didn't seem as busy as we normally would be for IMATS, so that was interesting. And it was also really interesting because when you're going to a place, or where you're working a show for makeup at a place where it's not strictly about makeup, a lot of people came up to the booth and things like that, literally were clueless about makeup. And so we're asking questions, and you really have to be able to be very, very specific in your answer and explanations to, you know, what the products are. And it was just kind of eye-opening to me, because I was like really surprised that people, there's so much, is lack of knowledge. I don't want that to sound mean. I don't mean it to be mean, but there is so much like lack of knowledge from people who about makeup. Like there was a girl who asked me, she was really interested, and it was really cool to be able to talk with her and help her out, and she was really excited with the product she bought. But she had asked me like, what's the difference between glitter and eyeshadow? And then also like she didn't understand the difference between the loose glitters and the pressed glitters and the chromolites and things like that. And when I tried to explain it to her, she's like, I still don't understand. Like, she's like, it seems the same to me. It's not, I don't get it. It was really surprising that people really, there's still people who really don't know anything, like literally nothing about makeup. And so being able to kind of really break it down and talk about it, especially from a brand that I really, really love, was really cool for me to be able to teach people things. So that made it really interesting and really fun and kind of funny in a way, because I'm so used to people who know about makeup. Like, even when I talk to you guys, and even if you're coming here to learn about makeup, or if you're a makeup beginner, most people still know quite a bit about makeup. And so to kind of interact with people and help people who really like literally know nothing about makeup was really kind of cool and interesting and things like that. So I ended up helping that girl, and she had bought a glitter and some eyeshadows, and she was so happy with the products and things like that. So that was really cool. But as far as like Chicago, unfortunately I didn't really get a chance to do anything outside of work. So I didn't get to explore Chicago or anything like that, and I really would have wanted to. There was a day that we had wanted to, all of us kind of go out and explore the city and look around and things like that. And unfortunately that was the one day that it was rainy and gloomy. So we decided not to deal with the weather and stayed in our hotels. So that was kind of a bummer. That I didn't really get to explore around, but honestly, like, it was just so dark and gloomy and rainy, and we would have been going to do that stuff after we'd already been done with Expo and working and stuff like that. So we were already tired, and it would have been fun and exciting if it were a really nice, beautiful day, but dealing with being tired from working the show and then going out on a gloomy, rainy day just didn't seem appealing to any of us, so we just didn't do that. But the hotel I stayed at was actually really, really nice, and there were like a couple restaurants within the hotel, so it's like we didn't really have to like leave the hotel to like deal with the weather. We could just eat there. And I feel like my hotel room was really, really pretty and really nice, and I really enjoyed staying there. It was really nice because there was like a shuttle directly to the airport even, and like where I stayed was only like 15 minutes from the airport and stuff like that, so it made it really easy for me to like be able to travel and get back to the airport and things like that. Whereas when I go to New York, it's like always crazy, and you have to like get to the Port Authority to get anywhere else, and it takes like an hour to get anywhere, and it's so crazy and something I'm not used to. So anyways, I really enjoyed that it was like we were in a nice, really nice part of town, and it was really easy to like kind of get around and things like that when we did want to. What was also really cool was that I got to meet Jen of Jen's Palette. She doesn't have a YouTube channel, but she's like an Instagrammer, and she is like a local makeup artist in Chicago. And so been following her for a while. She always does looks with NBA Cosmetics and stuff like that, and so since she is local there, she came to work the booth, so I got to meet her, and she's like the sweetest thing. And oh my gosh, she's like so tiny in person. It's just like sometimes you're not expecting when you see people online like what they really look like, how tall they are, how short they are, and things like that. And she's just like tiny little thing, and she is just so sweet, so beautiful, makeup flawless, just as much as it is on Instagram. So if you guys aren't following her on Instagram and you have Instagram, I'll link her. But she's super cute and super sweet and was super fun to work with. I also met, I think her name is Nia. Yeah, I think that. And she is like actually a dancer and things like that, but I guess she worked the Chicago makeup show before with NBA Cosmetics when they went one year. And she is like seriously one of the sweetest, coolest people. I'll link her below. And then also Lindsay of Be Glamorous with Lindsay, who used to work a lot with NBA Cosmetics as well for a long time. She and I have been following each other for like years, pretty much since I started out my makeup journey and things like that. But met her through NBA Cosmetics a long time ago, and finally actually got to meet her in person. So that was really cool, and I did enjoy my time in Chicago. Oh, and I was actually recognized, which I thought was really, really cool. So I didn't actually get recognized. I mean, I did while it was there at the show, but like she didn't come up to me. She messaged me later on Instagram and I was like, oh my gosh, it would have been great if she actually came up to me, because that's always so exciting, because I'm like not huge or anything like that. So for anybody to ever say that they recognize me, like, makes me feel so cool. I mean, but me saying that is probably really lame and not cool, but either way I don't care. Like, it was really, really cute, and it just made me feel really, really special. But basically she messaged me and was like, were you by chance at the Women's Expo in Chicago today? And I was like, yes, I was there. She's like, I saw you, I thought that was you, and I was gonna tell you that I follow you and just say hi to you. And I was like, oh my gosh, you should have, but I guess there was like a long line, so she didn't. But it was really cool, made me feel super special that she would even also just decide to message me and see, and just, I don't know, made me feel really special. That's really cool. Okay, my nose is looking crazy. Why? I'm like going crazy because I feel like I don't know what I'm doing here. I'm just chatting and chatting. So moving on, that's kind of like it for my Chicago experience. I wish there was just more exciting things to share, but it was really just mostly a work trip. Very cool, but still a work trip nonetheless. So nothing too exciting to share, though I still find it exciting that I get to do that for work. I think it's really cool. But moving on, I put on here my next little thing down the list is a little weight loss update. I think I did also talk about this in my last chit chat get ready with me. I don't know if I actually said a number or just how many pounds I've lost, but basically I'm currently at a standstill at 174 pounds. I've been that weight since October 2nd. I have a picture so I can remember my the last time I weighed myself. Let me look for it. Yeah, October 2nd. So and today is the 15th. Whew, my goodness. So I've been at a standstill at that for a bit, and that's mostly because the last couple weeks I haven't really worked out. Like last week with the power being out, like, and I said everywhere was out, so even the gym, so we didn't go to the gym or anything like that. And then before that I was in Chicago. Anyways, basically, yeah, for like the last 2 weeks I didn't really get to the gym, so I've just kind of been at a standstill with my weight. But I wanted to share this because I thought it was interesting. So every time I have weighed myself and have lost weight, I've taken a picture and kind of just kept track. And I don't weigh myself every day, which you really shouldn't. I know there are some people who do weigh themselves every day out of curiosity or just they want to know, and I used to be like that where I'd weigh myself every single day, and it always get a little bit frustrating because it's like, if you weigh yourself and you don't see a difference, like it doesn't move, it's kind of discouraging. Or if you weigh yourself and you maybe are like go up a pound or something like that, it's really discouraging. But sometimes it's like you just have to kind of just do it maybe once a week and not worry about it. So anyways, I had noticed when I put the things together, I'm looking down at my phone, I'll probably put a picture on the screen so you guys can see too. I was planning on sharing this on my Instagram, but I just haven't yet. But September 6th, I had weighed myself and I was 181 pounds, and I just kind of tracked from there. And then September 12th, I was 179 pounds. September 18th, I was 177 pounds. October 2nd, I was 174 pounds. And that's, like I said, that's where I've been staying since then. And what I noticed was that pretty much I'm losing 2 pounds every 6 days about, which I think, I don't know if that's good or bad. I'm happy with it. I think it's nice because it's showing me that there is steady progress. It's interesting that it's 2 pounds every 6 days. I don't know what people would consider that, if that's too much, not enough, or a good amount. For me, I'm happy with it because I have seen consistent progress and things like that. And not only the weight loss, but the thing is like, because I'm lifting weights with my husband and we're working out in that sense, it's not just cardio. I am eating better, but the weightlifting I feel like is making the hugest difference. And I can't remember if I talked about this in my last chit chat get ready with me about the weightlifting or not, but my husband had mentioned that something with weightlifting and like building muscle, it kind of will help to reset your or help your metabolism to speed it up. I have a very, very slow metabolism, and so that's one thing I'm noticing, because like before I was really lifting weights, like if there was even one day where I didn't eat the best, I would gain weight like instantly, or you know what I mean, like it affected me. Whereas now there's been a couple days, especially when I was traveling that day, Monday, when I was traveling all day, I mean I didn't eat the healthiest because I was eating airport food, and I mean I could have chose more wisely, but I'm like whatever. Like I end up having a milkshake, and I had Chick-fil-A because I've never had Chick-fil-A before, and everybody always talks about how good it is. Grabbed a few snacks and things like that from the airport, which, God, airport food is so freaking expensive. Like, why? I think it was kind of good because I was so tempted to pick up some gummy bears, because gummy bears are one of my weaknesses when it comes to sweets. I'm not like a huge sweets person. I prefer salty more than sweet. I've mentioned that before. But the Haribo, how do you pronounce that? Haribo gummy bears are literally the very best gummies, and I have kind of a weakness for those. So I wanted to pick some of those up at the airport in one of the little airport shops, you know. And normally like a bag of them is $1 or less sometimes, you know, anywhere else, or at least here in California. In the airport shop, they were literally like $5.36. And I was like, no, we're not doing this. I was like, this is, and I was kind of glad because that prevented me from going too far off track. But I did give myself the milkshake and things like that. So yeah, anyways, but basically what I was saying is, like, if I would have done that before really working out, lifting weights and building muscles and helping my metabolism, that day of traveling I would have probably put on 2 or 3 pounds just from that. And it's crazy. And just the fact that I got home and like I still was at the same weight, I think kind of shows to what my husband was telling me, that like my metabolism will do better. Which that's not to say that you should, you know, lift weights and only eat junk food. You should still be healthy, but I'm just saying, like, I could kind of somewhat get away with it now a little bit, and it makes me feel really, really glad. I'm really glad. But anyways, I have totally missed working out, and I've really come to enjoy lifting weights. It's not something I would think I would really enjoy that much, but I really do enjoy lifting weights and working out with my husband. So yeah, I'm excited to get back on track with working out, and while I'm glad that I didn't gain any weight from not working out, I'm looking forward to getting back on track with losing some weight. But I don't know if I talked really about it all. I don't think I have, because I really haven't had any kind of specific weight loss goal in mind. Originally, when I first started my very first weight loss journey back in 2012, when I started at 240 pounds, my goal was to get down to 140. That would have been 100-pound weight loss. I only ended up losing 80 pounds, which I know saying it only sounds bad, but like I didn't ever end up getting to that goal of 140. And so anyways, I think about it now, and my husband's like, oh, it's totally possible that you can get to 140 if that's your goal. And I just told him, like, he doesn't necessarily think, I don't know, we kind of see things very differently. So I had said, like, I don't really want to have a goal in mind. I just don't want to have a number in mind. Because for me, it just feels so defeating to have a number in mind and then not get there. And don't get me wrong, like, I am an optimist. But I'm also, I feel like a realist. It's very real. Like, I understand like reality of things. But I'm not a pessimist. So I'm very much so like a realist, but I'm an optimist. And so anyways, for me personally, and I don't think there's anything wrong with setting a number goal for anybody, but for me personally, I'm just like, I don't want to set a number goal. I really just want to feel better. I want to like feel comfortable in my skin. I want to be healthier, and that doesn't, and there's not a number in mind that I can think of that says like, this is where I want to be and then I'll be happy, because usually there's a lot of people who put a number in mind and get there and they're still not really happy. So for me, it's not about a number. And my husband's like, well, there's nothing wrong with like setting a goal and hitting it. And I'm like, yeah, I can see that, but I just don't want to hit. I don't want to. Lucy, what are you doing? For me, I just don't know if I really want to set a number for that. I just want to work hard until, you know, as hard as I can, and do my very best until I go into my surgery, and just see what happens, see where we can go from there. And I want to mention my surgery in a minute, and we'll get to that. But anyways, my husband basically had told me, which this is why he kind of disagrees with me, is because he had told me when we first started, when he said he was like going to help me out, and you know, we could start weightlifting, or he'd start weightlifting with me, and he's like, you know, we can easily get you down to 175, you know, and if you know, just he was just saying that, like, you know, he's like, no problem. And I looked at him and rolled my eyes, and he reminds me of it too. I'm like, I rolled my eyes like, oh God. Because for me, I just didn't feel like it was possible. I'm like, really 175? Because previous to him helping me, I was trying to do better with my choices in eating, and I was waking up early every morning to work out on the elliptical. I've mentioned this before a couple times. I started that back in April, and it'd been a couple of months. I can't remember. I'm going to mess up the math, but I wrote it down somewhere. But basically, anyways, it was like a couple of months that I was doing this on my own and barely lost any weight. So for me, thinking that from the point I was to get to 175 as quickly as he was trying to say, I was just like, I didn't believe it, because I'm like, I've been doing this for a couple months now and have barely lost any weight. But I just wasn't taking into consideration like the weightlifting and his knowledge on like what that will do for your body and your weight loss and stuff like that. And so anyways, here I am now down past, you know, 175 and 174, and he's like, I told you we can do this. So now you still have, you know, a couple months until your surgery. You can totally get down to whatever weight you want before your surgery. And so in that sense, he says, you know, a goal is totally possible. And that I shouldn't feel weird or bad or like eye roll about having a goal. And I totally get that, and I totally believe that if we set a goal, I'm sure with his help I can totally do it. But I don't know, there's something about it that I'm just like, I don't really want to put a number on it. I really don't. And he's understanding to that. So anyways, moving on to that though, speaking of my surgery, I know a lot of you guys have asked more about it and when I will have my surgery, and I do actually have a surgery date now. A lot of you guys have asked like to like know when I'm going to be doing, oh, I always do that, I turn it upside down, when I'm going to be doing my surgery. And also I talked about in my last Get Ready With Me that we were still trying to figure out if my husband can join me, and really wanting him to join me and things like that, because I don't want to be like doing the surgery on my own and things like that. Anyway, so to answer a few of you guys' questions, I do have a date for my surgery. My surgery date is December 9th, so I still have a couple months before my surgery. I'm very, very excited, but I'm also really, really nervous because it's going to be, I just feel like a tummy tuck, it's such a big surgery, and I'm so excited for it, but I don't know, I feel really nervous as well. It's I don't know, just a big surgery. And I have had a C-section before, so I kind of am familiar with like, I want to say like the essence of the pain and healing time, recovery time that can take. But I know like a C-section is literally just one incision across, and where a tummy tuck is going to be like a lot more invasive and things like that. And they even do muscle tightening and things like that. So it's going to be like C-section times probably like 50 or something. I don't know. That's what I'm anticipating, but at least I have a general idea of like what the pain and things like that feels like. But let me tell you, even with doing the C-section, like, and that's just like, not that that's like nothing. I mean, that's pretty major to get a C-section usually. But like even just that small type of surgery, it really takes it out of you, and you really realize how much you use your core for literally everything. You know, the normal stuff, standing up, sitting down, and things like that. Normal, obviously you think you need your core a little bit to get up and down, but laughing, coughing, talking, like every little thing, you use your core, your abs, your stomach, your core for so much of what you do, and you don't realize how much you use it until it's like in pain and like everything you do makes you feel sore and hurt. So I'm just like, imagine that, but like literally so much of my whole stomach, not just one part of it. So I'm like, oh my god, kind of nervous for that, but I'm excited. I'm really, really excited about it. So as far as my husband joining me, so he isn't going to stay the entire time, which is what we knew that he probably wouldn't be able to, because recovery time, I'm pretty sure, will be around 9 days or whatever, that I will stay there after my surgery. And that would just be a long time for him to be there, you know, expense-wise, for him to stay in a hotel, and also not really see me, because I think, as far as I understand, like in the recovery house, like he can't stay there obviously, which makes sense, but I don't know if they really even allow visitors very much either. So it kind of seems pointless for him just to be there, just to be in the same state as me or the same whatever, and not really be able to see me. And my thought was just that like I might need him to help me, you know, fly home. So that's why I would want him to stay, so that way when I'm ready to go home, if I need some assistance, like I always would want him to be there with me and help me get home. But the thing is, like, and I asked the doctors and the assistants and stuff like that, you know, there, who I'm in communication with, about like how recovery is, and like, do people usually need assistance home and stuff like that. And they had said, well, while it's nice to have that, it's not always necessary, and that patients usually are okay, you know, to travel home like on their own. And then as well, like, you can get assistance at the airport and stuff like that. Like you can have a wheelchair and have someone wheel you, you know, where you need to go to your flight and also carry your baggage or whatever you need. Like, so I can get that assistance. I don't necessarily need my husband for that, and so like thinking about that like made me feel a little bit better, and not necessarily having to have him stay the whole time and go home with me. But what I really wanted more than anything was for my husband to be there with me for the actual surgery. So that is actually what he's going to be doing. And then also additionally, I didn't really think about it. We kind of both didn't really think about it, but once I did sit down and think about it, I will actually be there and be in recovery on our anniversary. So our anniversary is December 16th. And this year we're celebrating 15 years of being married. Oh gosh, it makes me like emotional and teary-eyed thinking about it. But anyways, and I was thinking like, wow, but you know, we're gonna have to be apart, we're gonna be separated, he won't be there, and even if he was there, he wouldn't really probably be able to see me. So we just decided that instead of him staying the whole time, and because I do really want him to be there for me for the actual surgery and things like that, that he would be there for the beginning part of it, but we would also fly out to Florida a few days earlier before my surgery and spend a few days together and use that time to kind of celebrate our anniversary, because we always usually do some kind of trip for our anniversary anyways. We don't travel like super far. I think usually we stay either local in California, or sometimes we'll travel to Nevada or whatever, and usually, you know, stay or do something fun or whatever for anniversary. So we're just gonna make that kind of like our anniversary thing, like before our actual anniversary, since we won't be together for our anniversary. So that's gonna be really nice. I'm really looking forward to that. I think maybe my husband might have gone to Florida before, I think maybe for like some kind of army training thing possibly. Anyways, but I've never been to Florida. And so it'll be really kind of cool to go to a different state and just spend some time together. Not really sure if we'll do anything super exciting or really just kind of spend some time together in our hotel. I don't really know, but he will be there for me for my surgery and before my surgery, and then he'll probably leave like the day after my surgery's over. So anyways, that's the update on that. I'm very, very excited for him to be able to be there with me for my surgery and just to spend some time with him for our anniversary and things like that. So, you know, I really appreciate so many of you guys who have reached out to me personally, just asking about, you know, my surgery and things like that, just letting me know you guys will be praying, and then we're curious about the travel dates. You could pray for my safe travels and things like that. So I do really appreciate that, and those of you keeping myself and my family and my husband in your prayers just means so much to me. But yeah, I think that's really it for the update. I say this every time and I haven't really gotten any questions yet, but I don't know if that's because like not everybody watches my videos all the way through or not. I don't know, but I will just say it again, that if you guys do have any other questions about my surgery, anything you want to know about like the procedure and things like that, I really would encourage you guys to ask me, because I want to be able to be as helpful and informative as I can concerning my surgery and answer any questions. And just, it would be interesting to know what questions there might be or curiosities you might have, because it might be things that I haven't thought about. So to be able to have it in mind to like learn as I go as well and share with you guys, that would be really cool. So but yeah, like I said, I think that's pretty much it. I'm gonna end this video for now. I'm going to be doing my eyes for another video. I was requested to do some looks using the Juvia's Place Coral palette. And so I'm going to be doing that for another video. I'm just going to do kind of a quick tutorial because, like I said, I'm trying to do a quicker video so I can upload at least this one specifically today, but I do want to do another video while I'm sitting here. But I also plan to use this again for another video. I had planned on doing a full face of Juvia's Place, and so I still want to do that, but I didn't want to do that one first because I wanted to be able to do my little explanation video first. So that's what I'm doing. So anyways, there'll be at least another video with this palette individually as a tutorial, and then one with my full face of Juvia's Place. So those are some things to look forward to. But yeah, that is it. I'm gonna be done rambling. If you watch this all the way through, thank you so much. I love you so much. You guys are my rock stars and I appreciate you more than you know. So anyways, with all that being said, so I don't ramble any longer, I just want to thank you so much for watching, and until next time, much love and hugs to you. Bye, beauty babes. Mwah!